Airbus aircraft parts are transported using a special cargo plane called the Beluga. But imagine this when it comes to the world's largest passenger jet. The Airbus A380, moving its gigantic parts by any airplane becomes practically impossible. No cargo plane on Earth is big enough to carry this flying palace inside it. So how are the massive A380 components, built across different parts of Europe, brought all the way to Airbus's assembly line? Welcome once again to another fascinating story on ZimVoice. Airbus is a European aircraft manufacturing company that delivers around 1,000 planes every year to airlines across the globe. That's roughly 3 brand new airplanes rolling out every single day. Building 3 aircraft daily is an engineering marathon, but transporting their giant parts to one place is an even greater challenge. You see, Airbus's main final assembly line is in Toulouse, France, but the components come from all over Europe. The company's logistics system is a complex web that links sea, river, land, and sky, one of the most intricate transport networks in the world. Each European country involved specializes in a particular section. For instance, the tail sections are built in Hamburg, Germany. The nose and central fuselage are made in Saint-Nazaire, France. The wings come from Broughton, England, and the tail cone from Cadiz, Spain. Once these enormous sections are ready, they must somehow make their way to Toulouse for final assembly. In the early days, when demand for Airbus aircraft was lower, parts were moved using trucks and ships. It was painfully slow. Deliveries could take months, but as global demand exploded, this delay started to choke Airbus's growth. When you're building 3 planes a day, you can't afford to wait months for parts. So Airbus came up with a brilliant solution. There's a species of Arctic whale known for its unique song-like, called the beluga whale. Inspired by this creature, Airbus designed a plane in 1994 that resembled its namesake and called it the Beluga. Its only purpose? To transport enormous aircraft components. The Beluga had features no other cargo plane possessed. It's 56 meters long, longer than an Olympic swimming pool, and 17 meters tall, about the height of a 7-story building. Its cargo hold is so vast that 182 Suzuki Alto cars could fit inside. The plane's nose section lifts upward like a car's hood, making loading and unloading massive parts far easier. The Beluga can carry something like a pair of Airbus A350 wings, each 32 meters long, easily within its fuselage. That single pair of wings costs about 40 million euros, or roughly 400 crore rupees. That's why during loading, every precaution is taken. Even the slightest scratch could mean millions in losses. Whereas ships or trucks took months to move these parts, the Beluga can fly them across Europe in just 2 hours, keeping the assembly line running without a hitch. The success was so great that in 2014, Airbus introduced an upgraded version, the Beluga XL, capable of carrying even larger and heavier parts. Everything worked perfectly until the Airbus A380 entered the picture in 2004. This double-decker giant changed the game. Its fuselage stands 8.4 meters tall, and near the wings, it stretches to a width of 16 meters. The Beluga XL's cargo bay, however, is only 7.5 meters high, too small to fit either the fuselage or the wings of the A380. And here's the tricky part. While fuselage sections can be made in smaller pieces and joined later, aircraft wings cannot. A wing is built as a single piece because it houses the fuel tanks and hydraulic lines, and it bears most of the plane's stress during flight. Splitting it would risk leaks and weaken the structure. At first, Airbus considered building an even larger plane, the Beluga XXL, but the cost was astronomical, running into billions of euros. And since the A380's demand was limited, few airlines could afford to operate such a huge aircraft. It didn't make financial sense. So Airbus dropped the idea and turned to a new strategy. This marked the beginning of an incredible journey by land, river, and sea, the Super Convoy. Airbus commissioned custom-built roll-on/roll-off ships known as ro-ro vessels designed to move enormous parts on wheeled platforms. One such ship, the city of Hamburg, measures 126 meters long and 20 meters wide, with 5 times the cargo volume of the Beluga XL. From Hamburg, these massive aircraft sections are rolled directly into the ship, without cranes, and transported 1,600 kilometers to Saint-Nazaire, France. The journey across the North Sea is no picnic. Storms and 5-meter waves are common. Any movement strong enough to nudge the cargo could destroy a 40 million euros wing. That's why the crew checks all chains every 4 hours, and 24/7's cameras monitor the cargo to prevent any damage. Once at Saint-Nazaire, the parts are offloaded onto specially designed barges and carry them up the Garonne River to the city of Bordeaux. But this route has its own legendary challenge. The Pont de Pierre Bridge, built in 1810, spans 500 meters, and only its 9th arch, 19 meters wide, is large enough for the barges to squeeze through, with barely a few inches to spare on either side. The river's water level changes with the Atlantic tides, giving the captain only a 3-minute window every 12 hours to pass safely. Miss it, and the convoy must wait half a day, delaying the entire production line. To overcome this, engineers fitted the barges with adjustable platforms that can lower or raise to clear the arches during low tide. After surviving the river passage, the journey continues by road, a 250-kilometer trip from Bordeaux to Toulouse. Each convoy uses a super truck, 50 meters long, with 96 wheels and a 650-horsepower engine. These transports only move at night, when roads can be closed to traffic. A 40-person team, including police escorts and engineers, guides them through tight turns and narrow streets, where giant wings sometimes pass just centimeters from lampposts and rooftops. Finally, the parts reach Toulouse, where highly automated systems take over. Within hours, the enormous sections are assembled into a complete A380. The fuselage alone requires over 19,000 rivets, and the wings are attached with another 4,000. Engines, electronics, interiors, and paint come next, and after 9 months of creation, transportation, and assembly, the aircraft is ready for delivery. To date, only 251 A380s have ever been built. Operating them is so costly that half of all units belong to a single airline, Emirates. The A380 can carry up to 850 passengers at once, with a maximum takeoff weight of 575,000 kilograms, about the combined weight of 300 SUVs. Each aircraft costs around $445 million, roughly Rs 800 crore, the price of 5 Boeing 737s. So the next time you step into an Airbus, remember the extraordinary teamwork, precision, and ingenuity it took to build and transport that flying giant across Europe. Hope you enjoyed this deep dive by Zimvoice. Don't forget to like, share, and stay tuned for more incredible stories.